Okay, what's up, Algebra 2? All right, so we are dealing with quadratic equations. So quadratic just means it has one of the terms is to the second power. Okay, so y'all may have seen some of these before. I'm just gonna work out, I think, 4 examples here. All right, so first of all, we want to isolate the variable, so we're going to divide both sides by 16. So we got x squared equals 49 over 16, which you'll notice that both of these are perfect squares. All right, so the way we're going to get this down, because remember, we're not trying to find the value of x squared, we're trying to find the value of x, right? So we're going to do the inverse of x squared, which is square root here. So we're going to square root this whole thing right here, and that can also be written as the square root of 49 over the square root of 16. Square root of 49 is 7. Square root of 16 is 4. So x equals 7 over 4. Okay, let's look at another one. Okay, so we want to isolate our variable. So let's bring the 3x squared over here. That way we're getting everything with an x squared over on this side. So those cancel, and you're left with -9. And over here we've got 5x squared minus 24. All right. Okay, so we're going to add 24 to both sides. So we're going to get 5x squared equals 15. All right, then we're going to divide both sides by 5. Okay, right, because we're trying to isolate this right here. So that cancels. It gives me x squared equals 3. So x equals the square root of 3, because we're going to square root this side, and whatever I do over here, I have to do the same thing over here, right? Okay, I think that was number, that was number 8. Okay, all right, so we don't got to worry about number 8. All right, let's look at another one here. This one is actually number give me just a second. Yeah, it's number 7. Didn't matter order here. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring this x squared over here. So it gives me 4x squared plus 2 equals 11. All right, we're going to subtract 2 here, subtract 2 here. Gives me 9. Okay, we've got 4x squared, right? Okay, so we're going to divide both sides by 4. It gives me x squared equals 9 over 4. Okay, notice that both 9 and 4 are both perfect squares, so that when we square root, that gives us x equals 3 over 2. Square root of 9 is 3, square root of 4 is 2. Okay, one more. This is like towards the end. So, what do you think I should do? Well, let's go ahead and multiply this out. This is going to give us x squared minus 3x. Let's see, yeah. Let me make sure I wrote this problem down right. This is number 10. Yep. So we got x squared minus 3x plus 3x minus 9 equals 16 minus 2x squared. Okay, so those cancel out. Obviously, we get that's the difference of 2 squares. So x squared minus 9 equals 16 minus 2x squared, right? Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and bring, oops. So we're going to add 2x squared to both sides and give us 16. So we've got 3x squared minus 9. All right. We're going to go and add our 9 here, add our 9 here. So we get 3x squared equals 25. Okay. Divide both sides by 3. X squared equals 25 over 3. Okay, we're going to square root both sides. Get x equals, okay, now remember this is the same thing as square root of 25 over the square root of 3. Okay, so we're going to get 5 over the square root of 3. Okay, now remember we can't leave this radical in the denominator. All right, so do you remember how to deal with this? So we want to multiply the square root of 3 times the square root of something over the square root of something. That's going to be the same here. All right, so that we end up with a perfect something that has a perfect square over here, right? So if I take the square root of 3 times the square root of 2, that gives me the square root of 6, which is not a perfect square. Square root of 3 times the square root of 3, we're going to multiply whatever I multiply the bottom by, I have to multiply the top by, right? So this gives me the square root of 9, which is 3. Okay? And then we take 5 times the square root of 3, just gives us 5 times the square root of 3. Okay. Give me just a second. All right. So hopefully all this makes sense. Hopefully it'll be a help to you as you do this lesson. All right. All right. Take care.